Hello chess friends, and welcome to Azadov's chess channel, and welcome to my basics in chess series. So in this basics in chess series we do of course the opening principles, middle game strategy and middle game planning, and of course the end games. So today let's do some middle game strategy and of course middle game planning with the subject of occupying your opponent's 7th rank. So it's really important for you to occupy your opponent's 7th rank, because your most of the pawns of course will be on the 7th rank, and you see and pawn is important in an endgame. So if you grab your opponent's pawn, you can simply go into an endgame with the pawn up and promote the queen and win the game. It sounds so easy, but there is this expression in chess which says if you occupy your opponent's 6th rank, well, you have maybe a slightly advantage, but if you occupy your opponent's 7th rank, you will probably win the game. So keep that in mind, because you see, it's really important to be first on the 7th rank. Of course, watching from Black's perspective, Black will try maybe to occupy your 2nd rank. So you try to occupy your opponent's 7th rank, and there is this expression in life which I like to say, well, who meets the girl first, he is gonna probably date her. And well, that's a common expression here in Croatia. And here of course white is to move, and he can simply play the next move, here rook on c7, and he has already occupied the 7th rank. Now black is really in trouble, because his rook cannot play, and the rook is always stuck to the defense of this b7 pawn. And you see the king cannot also go here maybe on e7 and maybe the e8 and d8, because he will leave the defense of the f7, and then maybe after that we can maybe take the g7, and then after that maybe the h7 pawn. So let's see now a possible continuation. Here maybe black will try king on g8, h4, h5, now king on e2, king on f8, maybe king on d2, playing more central with your king. King on g8, you see the king doesn't have good squares. If the king goes on h7 and tries somehow, of course we'll take out the f7 pawn. King on d3, king on f8, f3, maybe king on g8 again. You see this rook on c7 on the 7th rank has really paralyzed all of the pieces by black. Here we have e4, king on f8, e takes d5, e takes d5, king on e3, maybe rook on e8, king on f4, rook on e7, trying here of course to trade the rooks, but here a very nice move, rook on c8, and of course after rook on e8 now we're gonna trade the rooks, because here it wouldn't be good if we would have traded here the rooks on the 7th rank. Now the king goes on the square e8, and now king on e5, and we can simply take out the pawn on d5, and this is of course with this pass pawn situation winning game for white. So this was sort of an endgame. We used this rule in an endgame. Now let's see a couple of examples in the middle game. Here is a position in from a game. It was played by Jose Raul Capablanca and Alexander Alechin in 1927. So white has here the possibility to create a check here on h8, but that doesn't bring us so much, because we want of course to occupy the 7th rank and try to attack the g7 pawn. So let's see how Capablanca does it. Here he played rook on h7, king on e7, and now the queen has also occupied the 7th rank. You see we have here a very nice attack on the 7th rank, and if black doesn't play it accurate, he can also get checkmated. So here of course Alechin tried to get out with this king. Now bishop takes on e6 was played, f takes e6, and now we can also take here the b7 pawns. You see, that's all possible because we have occupied the 7th rank, and we have occupied it faster than black has occupied our 2nd rank. So now Alekhine tries to trade the queens in the Capablanca. Okay, he accepts it because he has now taken several pawns. 8 takes b4, and now c5, rook on c6 was played, and now rook on b4. Rook takes on c5. Now we have rook on a7, and here is the position in which black resigned because he's forced to play the rook on c8. But then after that we can really let's see the continuation. If rook on c8, then you see we can really occupy again the 7th rank, and here we have a really nice domination on the 7th rank, and black's pieces are all paralyzed. So now I wanted to show you an example in which, well, you're not occupying your opponent's 7th rank with your rook. It's possible to occupy your opponent's 7th rank with a piece, with a knight, or maybe with a bishop. So here is a position in again in a game against Nigel Short with white pieces against former World Championship challenger Sergei Karyakin, and here in the last move Karyakin took the pawn here on a2, and now Nigel Short finds a very nice move, knight on h5, using the pin here on the king, and he can occupy here this very nice square g7 with his knight, and here Karyakin tried queen on a5, and now knight on g7. So you see we have occupied the 7th rank with this knight, and black is forced to react here. He played rook on f8, now queen on d2, of course with the preparation here to play the queen on h6, and tried maybe knight takes on e6, and then checkmate here, black on g7. So here Karyakin tried rook on c4, queen on h6, and now Karyakin was forced to give up his rook for the bishop because the bishop was too strong on this diagonal. Here we have an in-between move, knight on e6, again with the preparation to checkmate here on g7. You see we have occupied the 7th rank with several pieces, and they're really deadly around the black's king. So here f takes e6 was played, and now Nigel Short finds a very nice tactical shot. He played rook on g6, king on f7, and now rook on g7, king on e8, queen takes on e6, again with the threat to checkmate, king on d8, queen takes on e7, king on c7, and now the queen took the rook here on f8, and this is now of course a completely winning position for white with the rook up, and here is the position in which Sergei Karyakin resigned. So very nice attack. You see it was really important for Nigel Short to occupy the 7th rank with the piece, with the rook, with the pawn. You can sometimes occupy your opponent's 7th rank, so it's really a nice strategical idea in a chess game. So let's see now a position, and it was again from the last century. It was played against Bent Larsen and Jan Hein Donner. Here Bent Larsen with white pieces, and in the last move Donner played here a knight on f5. So here Bent Larsen played knight takes on f5, bishop takes on f5, but now we are doubling our rooks, of course, on the e file, and you see the rook cannot compete with this very nice battery on the e file. So we can occupy here this very important square e7. We can occupy the 7th rank. So we have queen on f7, rook on e7, and now, well, the queen is really the queen doesn't have really good squares, so that's why black tried c5. We have queen on h4, g5, and now queen takes on g5, queen on g6. But of course, with this domination on the 7th rank, white's not interested to trade the queens, so he played here queen on d2, and with the preparation, of course, to try bishop on d5, and if the king goes here on h6, then you can maybe play queen on c3 and similar ideas. But you see, black doesn't have counterplay because we have really occupied the 7th rank, and we have doubled our rooks on the e file, and it's really a completely domination by white. So I hope you realize this principle in chess. It's really important. It's really often played, and if you see in your position that you can maybe occupy or your opponent's 7th, or of course if you're playing as black, your opponent's 2nd rank, try to do it, and try to do it as fast as you can, and of course creating this really nice threats around the king. So thanks you for watching, guys. You can also watch my other basics in chess videos, my basics in chess middle game, opening and endgame videos, and you can also watch my new series playing d4, in which I created already 2 videos in the Queen's Gambit Accepted. And of course don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks you for watching, guys, and chess is the best, of course.